It was the summer of 2018, and I needed to get away. My name's Alex, and at the time, I was 32, working a dead-end job in Seattle as a graphic designer. The city was suffocating me. Endless rain, fluorescent lights, and the constant buzz of notifications on my phone. I'd always been drawn to the outdoors, the kind of guy who hiked solo on weekends to clear his head. So when a friend mentioned this remote trail in the Cascade Mountains, about 3 hours east, I jumped at it. He called it the Forgotten Loop, an old logging path that wasn't on most maps anymore. Said it was untouched, peaceful, with views that could reset your soul. I didn't think twice. Packed my tent, some MRES, a map, and my old Nikon camera for some shots. Told my roommate I'd be back in a week. That was my first mistake, not telling anyone the exact route. The drive up was uneventful. Winding roads through dense evergreens, the air getting crisper with every mile. I parked at a gravel pullout near an abandoned ranger station, the kind with faded signs warning about bears and flash floods. No cell service, of course. That's what I wanted. Solitude. I shouldered my pack and started hiking in the late afternoon, the sun dipping behind the peaks, casting long shadows that stretched like fingers across the path. The trail was overgrown, ferns brushing my legs, and the ground soft with pine needles. Birds called overhead, but as I went deeper, the sounds faded. By dusk, I was maybe 5 miles in, setting up camp in a small clearing ringed by towering firs. The mountains here felt ancient, like they were watching. I built a fire, ate some jerky, and stared at the stars emerging one by one. It was perfect, or so I thought. That first night, sleep came easy, but I woke around 2 a.m. to a sound. Not a branch snapping or an animal rustling, something rhythmic, like breathing. Heavy, labored inhales and exhales, just beyond the tree line. I sat up in my tent, heart pounding, flashlight in hand. "Hello?" I called out, my voice swallowed by the darkness. Nothing. Must be the wind, I told myself, or maybe a deer. But it didn't feel right. The air had turned colder, unnaturally so, and there was a smell, like wet earth mixed with something metallic, like blood. I zipped the tent tighter and lay back down, but sleep was fitful after that. Dreams of being chased through fog-shrouded woods, footsteps always just behind me. Morning brought relief. Sunlight filtered through the canopy, birdsong returned, and the night felt like a bad memory. I broke camp and pushed on, the trail climbing steeper now, switchbacks leading to a ridge with a view of endless valleys below. No other hikers, no surprise, since this wasn't a popular spot. I snapped photos, jagged peaks piercing the sky, mist clinging to the slopes like a shroud. By noon, I'd reached a plateau, an open meadow dotted with wildflowers and boulders. That's where I found the first sign that something was off. Scratched into a rock, faint but deliberate, turn back. Kids prank? Vandals? I laughed it off, but a chill ran down my spine. The mountains can play tricks on your mind, right? Isolation breeds paranoia. As the day wore on, the weather shifted. Clouds rolled in, heavy and gray, turning the light dim. I hiked another few miles, descending into a narrow valley flanked by sheer cliffs. The trees here were older, twisted, their bark peeling like old skin. And the silence. It was absolute. No wind, no insects, nothing. That's when I heard it again. The breathing. Closer this time, maybe 50 yards away, behind a cluster of rocks. I froze, scanning the underbrush. "Who's there?" I shouted, my voice echoing off the walls. Silence. Then a low rumble, like a growl, but deeper, vibrating in my chest. Adrenaline surged. Bear? I backed away slowly, hand on my bear spray, but nothing emerged. The path ahead narrowed, forcing me through a thicket of thorns that snagged my clothes. By evening, I was exhausted, setting up camp near a small stream. The water ran black in the fading light, reflecting the overcast sky like ink. That night, the breathing returned. Louder. It circled my tent, slow and deliberate, like whatever it was sizing me up. I clutched my knife, sweat beading on my forehead despite the cold. "Go away," I yelled, but it only seemed to encourage it. The inhales grew ragged, interspersed with wet smacks, like lips parting over teeth. I didn't sleep. At dawn, I packed up fast, my hands shaking. The trail map showed a loop back to the car in 2 more days, but something told me to cut short. Problem was, the way back looked the same as forward. Endless forest. I pressed on, hoping to find higher ground for a signal, maybe call for help if things got worse. The 3rd day blurred into nightmare. Fog descended, thick and cloying, reducing visibility to arm's length. I stumbled along, roots tripping me, the ground slick with unseen moisture. Then I found the bones, scattered across a small clearing. Deer skulls, rib cages, femurs picked clean. Not fresh, but arranged in a pattern, a spiral, pointing deeper into the woods. My stomach twisted. Animals don't do that. Poachers? But why? I took a photo, the flash illuminating gouge marks on the bones, like they'd been gnawed by something with jagged teeth. The air reeked again, that metallic tang stronger now. I hurried away, but the fog thickened, disorienting me. Hours passed, or minutes. Time felt warped. I called out, hoping for an echo to guide me, but my voice came back distorted, like someone mimicking me from afar. By afternoon, I was lost. The trail vanished under the mist, and my compass spun wildly, as if the mountains themselves were magnetic anomalies. Panic set in, real and choking. That's when I saw the figure. Just a silhouette at first, tall and hunched, standing motionless between 2 trees about 100 feet ahead. Human? It had to be. "Hey! Help!" I shouted, waving my arms. It didn't move. I approached cautiously, the fog parting slightly. As I got closer, details emerged. Ragged clothing, or was it fur? Limbs too long, joints bending wrong. Its head turned slowly, and I glimpsed eyes, reflective, like a cat's in the dark, but glowing faintly red. No face, just shadows where features should be. A guttural wheeze escaped it, that same breathing I'd heard. I turned and ran, branches whipping my face, lungs burning. It followed. I could hear it crashing through the undergrowth, not fast, but relentless, its breaths syncing with my own. I don't know how long I ran. Tripped over a log, tumbled down a slope, slamming into rocks. Pain exploded in my ankle, but I dragged myself into a crevice, a narrow cave hidden by vines. Curled up, hyperventilating, I listened. The footsteps stopped outside. Sniffing, scratching at the entrance. Hours passed in that hellish limbo, the thing pacing, occasionally letting out a low moan that echoed through the stone. Night fell, and with it, a deeper cold that seeped into my bones. Whispers started then, not audible words, but in my head, fragments of thoughts. Join us. The mountain hungers. Flesh for the roots. I clamped my hands over my ears, but it didn't help. Was I going insane? Dehydration? Hypothermia? Dawn broke weakly through the fog. The sounds had stopped. I peeked out. Nothing. Limping, I emerged, my ankle swollen like a balloon. The forest looked different, paths I didn't remember. But there, in the distance, a glimmer of road? No, just more trees. I pushed on, rationing my water, ignoring the hallucinations creeping in. Shadows darting at the periphery, faces in the bark staring back. That night, in a makeshift shelter of branches, it came again, closer. I could smell it now, rot and earth, like a grave unearthed. It whispered my name. Alex. Come out? How did it know? I hadn't told anyone out here. Tears streamed down my face as I rocked back and forth, praying for morning. On the 5th day, or was it 6th? Time had dissolved. I found the old cabin, tucked in a ravine, boards weathered gray, windows shattered like empty eyes. Inside, dust-covered relics, a rusted lantern, yellowed newspapers from the 1940s, headlining mining accidents, loggers vanishing without trace. Scratched on the walls, it walks at night. The watcher in the peaks, don't listen to the breaths. My blood ran cold. This wasn't new. Others had been here, felt it. I barricaded the door with a broken table, huddled in the corner with my knife. As darkness fell, the breathing surrounded the cabin. Not one, but many. A chorus of ragged gasps, scratching at the wood, testing the barriers. The whispers intensified, memories of my life flashing unbidden. Childhood fears, regrets, the face of my estranged father calling me weak. It was feeding on my mind, unraveling me thread by thread. I must have blacked out. Woke to silence, sunlight streaming through cracks. The door was ajar, claw marks gouged deep. I fled, hobbling through the woods, directionless but desperate. Miraculously, after what felt like eternity, I stumbled onto a service road. A logging truck found me hours later, delirious and babbling. They airlifted me to a hospital in Yakima. Dehydrated, fractured ankle, exposure. Doctors said I was lucky. Rangers searched but found no cabin, no bones, no signs of pursuit. My camera? Gone, lost in the scramble. They chalked it up to wilderness psychosis, a common thing for solo hikers. But I know what I experienced. The mountains hold secrets, things older than us, hungry for the lost. I haven't hiked since. Nights, I still hear the breathing, faint but there, in the walls of my apartment. If you're watching this, thinking of heading out alone, don't. Turn back while you can. The peaks don't forget, and they wait patiently for the next wanderer.